This is waterfall pose. Waterfall pose is such a relaxing posture. It's actually said to reduce anxiety and help the energy become a little more grounded, a little more peaceful. A great pose for at the end of a day or the end of a vigorous yoga practice. So for waterfall pose, it's really beneficial to use a pillow or a block or something under the hips, especially if you have some tighter hamstrings. You want to feel the block under your sacrum. That's that kind of hard area of your pelvis in between the flesh of your glutes and the flesh of your back. And then extend your legs up towards the sky. If it feels like you're rolling off the block or the pillow, adjust it so that you can be relaxed. If your hamstrings are a little tighter, straight legs might feel too much like work here. So you might want to take a little bend to your knees or even a deep bend to your knees. Essentially, what we're trying to do is just let the femurs be heavy, the thighs be heavy into your hip sockets, right? And then from there, you can rock your shoulders under and turn your palms up. I recommend staying in this pose for maybe 2 to 3 minutes as you wind down. You might even finish a class like this. This is low lunge. Typically, we get into low lunge in two ways, either by stepping back from your forward fold or by coming to it from downward facing dog. The teacher will ask you to bring the leg high, you'll pull the knee through the midline, and then you'll just step the foot between the palms. Now, to make that a graceful step forward, it requires a lot of hamstring opening and core strength and a deep push through the hands. So, after the leg lifts tall, you'll pull it through the midline and you'll actually suck it up into the core, pushing through the hands. Notice how I'm tippy-toeing my back foot, and then you'll step the foot gently between the palms. If you're newer to yoga, it's probably not that easy, right? Your foot might be getting stuck back here. That's totally normal. Just grab your ankle and manually push the foot forward. The important thing when you land in this lunge is that the knee is aligned right over the ankle. We want to make sure that the knee isn't in front of the ankle, because if it is, then you could even feel that. You can feel the weight just kind of bunch in the base of your knee. So keep the knee stacked right over the ankle to protect that joint, and then you're feeling the entire back ball mound push down. And that is low lunge. This is low cobra. The hands are right under the shoulders, and the hands are pulling back. Yeah, so we're not pushing into the hands and just kind of dumping here. Rather, we're pulling the mat back and feeling the spine lengthen, right? Using that traction from the mat to draw the crown forward. Our hips are tucking, our tailbone's pulling in between the inner thighs, and you'll feel the glutes squeeze. It feels kind of like a butt workout, right? Glutes and hamstrings are on. You're pushing the feet down, and then from there, you just start to lift the upper back up. So it doesn't feel like much, but if you're not pushing into the hands, you'll feel the spine really light up. Let the chest be soft. Take a big breath in when you get there. And then you just lower down.
Hey everybody, it's Amber Carnes from BodyPositiveYoga.com, and if I could only teach you one yoga move, it would be Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. So this pose is great for building strength. It really works the whole lower body, the core, the arms, the shoulders. It's also asymmetrical, so it challenges your balance and your proprioception, your sense of where your body is in space. It has all kinds of benefits from head to toe. So let's take a look at Warrior 3. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is really get your lower body solid and make sure that you can find the shape of the pose, and then you'll work on the upper body. So get a chair, put it on your yoga mat so it's not going to go anywhere. Go ahead and step your right foot into the middle of the chair and bring your hands down to the chair. Then what you're going to do is take your left toes behind you and just rest them on the mat for a moment. Really get a good grip on the chair. Make sure your hips are square, so we don't want the hips splaying out to the side when you start to lift the leg. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and start to come forward and lift the leg. So I'm just bending my elbows, but I'm still keeping my hands on the chair. Really lift the leg high. You want to keep it straight. Point out through the ball of the foot. Don't let your hip come out to the side. Think about rolling that left hip down and really engage through the standing leg. So spread the toes wide, lift the kneecap, squeeze your butt, and squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back. Draw your navel toward your spine to help hold that leg up. That's the first step. All right, so once you've found the shape of the pose, then we're going to go ahead and incorporate the arms. So you can always work with the chair and stay there, or you can come to your mat, take the chair off, and start to work with your balance. So really press down through the standing foot and bring the other foot behind you, just like we did with the chair. And I like to have hands at heart center. It kind of keeps everything contained, and you're not sort of flailing around in space. So start to cantilever forward, bend your knee, and press out through the ball of the foot on the lifted leg again. And as you come forward, think about rolling that left hip down, that lifted hip, so you can keep your sacrum parallel with the floor. Then you can do a number of things with your arms. You can either keep your hands here at heart center, really work on your balance. Find a spot to stare at on the floor. You can bring your arms behind you like wings and work on that. Or you can bring your arms out in front and keep your hands shoulder distance apart. Thanks for exploring Warrior 3 with me. So if you'd like to learn more, go to bodypositiveyoga.com and see you on the internet.
This is plank pose. The hands are right under the shoulders, and the hips are aligned with the ribs and the shoulders. You're feeling the low belly knit up and in, so you're being mindful not to drop the hips below the shoulders and not above the shoulders, kind of like that down dog, but instead right in line with the shoulders. Then the quads are drawing up and in. It kind of feels like you're pulling away from the mat.
Yoga poses. 8-1. Take 1. Fail 1.
It's not that hard. Okay, put your hand. I need to get closer. No, you can't. You have to have your legs straight up in the air. Straight up. And now put your hands.
You guys have to be closer together.
Your legs. I know. Now put your hand. One hand.
Your legs have to be taller. Jamie, get in closer.
Put your hands together now. What? You need to put your hands together. Sit up, sit up, sit up. Okay, start like this. Start like this. Slowly push them up. Okay, you go one way, I'll go the other. No, you have to back up, that's why, because your legs have to be straight, okay? So first, before you put your feet up, you need to pull up. Just pull each other. Okay. Set, go. Now straight up. Your legs are so short. Okay, let's try a different one.
This is high lunge, one of my favorite standing postures of all time. So you're rooting down through both feet. In this pose, it's easy to lose your balance. So you want to hug the inner thighs in, kind of like you were squeezing a 2x4 in between the inner knees, yeah? And then the back leg's pretty interesting because if the leg's straight, you're getting this intense stretch on the front hip flexor, right? But if your hip flexors are pretty tight, you might feel a little flare of the sit bones and the tail going high, right? A little dumping in the low back. It's just as good if you want to bend that back knee a little bit so that you can drive the tailbone down and more align the tail under the ribs. That variation does take more thigh strength in your back leg. Either is correct. For me, I'm going to keep mine straight for now. You can zip the ribs in, or you should zip the ribs in, and let the biceps frame the ears. You're letting the shoulder blades wing up just like down dog, and the face is nice and soft. And that's high lunge.